Hello everyone, time for a live feed. Time for some coffee first. Didn't get much sleep last night. Okay. So I'm going to send out a few invites because that's what we do here. Right, now someone's joined us. Say hello so I know who it is because Facebook never tells me. Now let me see if I can tag Thomas. Lars has joined us. Thanks for joining, Lars. Thomas. Yeah, come on, fine. I don't usually tag people. Thomas. I think that's the Thomas I'm after. Lovely. Let's see if that works. 3 people are watching. I know Lars is here. Who else has joined us? Say hello. Share the feed if you like. There's going to be lots of different random stuff going on today. So first thing I'm going to do is put my motor cover back on my Demon because I raided my Demon for bits so I could get Oscar's truck going. I pinched my own radio, put it in Oscar's truck. Lucky bugger. I've got so much crap on my desk, it's not funny. I tried to smash together a quick, we'll do this and we'll do this and we'll do this for a live feed. And that's where we are. Jamie Taylor's joined us. Thanks for joining, Jamie. Much appreciated, mate. So while you guys are rolling in, I'm just going to start putting my motor cover back on my Demon. Because if you don't have a motor cover on it, that's what you're looking at underneath. It's not pretty, I won't lie. But it is what it is. I mean, this isn't pretty because I just ripped it all to pieces so I could grab the receiver out of it to put in Oscar's truck so they could have lights to switch off and on. I've ripped myself off, usage of my own winch. But that's fine. My plan is, for the Demon, is I'm going to get myself an orange receiver that I can rig up with my DX6, and I will run my Demon on the twin stick and hopefully should be able to run a winch off one of the switches. So that's my plan with that. But first I've got to put my engine cover back on. It's too pretty not to be on there. Now I have to remember what screws are for what. Too much crap here. Michael's joined us. Thanks for joining, Michael. Without Michael, this group wouldn't exist. Glad to see you here, mate. Right. On goes the Demon motor cover. As per usual, if you guys have got any mates you think you'd like to watch a bit of RC talk and whatever else we come up with today, feel free to give them a tag. Feel free to share it out. So we're going to be, after I do this, we'll have a quick look at Oscar's truck so I can show you guys where that's at. I mean, I know you guys have seen a lot of the pictures, but still, show you where that's at. I did get asked by Tim Chicane, I think you pronounce his last name. I could be wrong, and if I am, I'm sorry. Got asked the other day if I could, in one of the live feeds, talk a bit about LiPo batteries and such. So I'm going to do a bit of a chit chat about LiPo batteries. I'm also going to do a bit of a chit chat on how I paint light lenses, because that's been a topic that's come up lately. So what I use, how I do it, etc. Tyler's joined us. Ristos has joined us. I hope I've pronounced your name correctly there, mate. I'm sorry if I haven't. So we're going to talk about that. What else? I've got trucks here everywhere. I've got the PG4L sitting here, which has got the 2-speed transmission. Austin's joined us. Thanks for joining, Austin. I've got the PG4L sitting here, which has got the 2-speed transmission in it. I've got that sitting here so that I can show Lee, that screw's too long, so I can show Lee how the 2-speed works and how to set it up, etc. So today's a bit of a look-see at everything. I did forget to grab Scarlet accessories to weather, but I do have a winch up there, so we can do that. So yes, a bit of a here's how we do everything video. Is that the same length? That's possibly, it might be shorter. So that's what we're doing. I can't see any comments yet because Facebook's crap and they don't show up properly. So sorry if you guys are commenting. Let me do this and a this. Sometimes that works. We'll see if they pop up. Say hello. There we go. Last, what's up? I'm in bed. Jamie, hi buddy, how's Tricks? Who's Tricks? Nick, Nick's with us? I didn't even know you were here, Nick. See, this is how bad Facebook is, and I feel bad when I don't say hello to people when they join. It's something I like to do. Nick, hi from Canada. Last says the sky is up. We've got a pretty good sense of humour around here. You have to have. Where's the bolt I'm looking for? I've got so many bolts here. I forget which sizes are what for what and whatever else. I think this is the one I'm after. I think. Right. So if I'm correct, this is the last bolt that's going in the Demon. And then that's done and out of the way. I will put my spare tyre back on and close the back door and such. If anyone wants a sticky beak at the Demon motor cover, let me know and I'll give you a bit of a sticky beak at what's under the hood. Just nip these up now. Generally, little free tip for you. Generally with anything like this, if you've got one piece and it's going to have multiple bolts that go through it, when you put your first one in, don't tighten it up. Put a few of them in, get them all started, then tighten them up. Robert's joined us. Thanks for joining, Robert Summers. So the engine plate is back in the Demon, and that's how my engine plate looks. Mr. Ledge has joined us. Thanks for joining, Chris Ledge. That's how my engine plate looks in the Demon. Looks much better than having all that wiry nonsense hanging out in your face. So that's good. Now I can put my bonnet, hood, whatever you want to call it from wherever you're from. I can put that back on my truck, just wipe the dust off it. Poor truck needs to go out for a good wheel, I reckon. Right, so that can go back on there, and then I'm going to put my bloody wheel back on the back. I've got to stop pulling my trucks apart to make other people's trucks work. Right, that can go in there. That can go, come on. That goes in there. Lovely. I forget what I did with the lid. Handy. Anyway, I'll find that at a later date. It's probably under the shambles that's sitting to my left. Right, spare tyre goes back on the back. I can't remember what I did with the lid. For those that don't know, I'm talking about the lid to the box on the back of my truck, which houses my sound kit. Lid. I've really got no idea what it is. Last ARF. I need to get some sleep. I feel bad missing out. Hopefully next time. Catch you later. Do me a favour, last. Shoot me a message. Let me know what time best suits you for a feed. And coming up, I will do a live feed specifically for last time. Rolf's on your time too, so that'll work out good for him. I believe Johnny Hoiberg's on your time too, or similar. So that may work for him too. Right, let me just do a quick browse at the mess pile over here. I've always got, now I know none of us guys keep our desks perfectly tidy all the time. This is fact. It's just how it goes. We've always got that one corner of our desk that's just a bloody pigsty. Well, mine's over here to my left, your right. And I have got everything here. I've got little tubs of paint. I've got tools. I've got empty screw bags. I've got too much mess. And I can't find pieces I'm looking for. To be fair, I haven't looked very hard. Drew's joined us. Thanks for joining, Drew. I'm sorry if that's making a horrible noise in the sound dealy. What did I miss? I bolted the engine cover on the Demon. That's all you've missed. Sorry, I've got no idea what that is at the moment. But anyway, so for those that haven't seen it or don't know what it is, Lee's joined us. Good. Stay here, Lee. So that's my Demon. All this is back together. That's back on. I just need to find my little lead for the back. It's here. I know it's here. So, right, now that that's out of the way, I'll quickly show Oscar's truck and how that looks. And then we're going to start doing the transmission stuff for Lee, because Lee's building a GC4M. So the one with the back on it, same as the GC4, the farm truck. Lee's building one of those, and he's having a little bit of an issue with setting up his transmission, etc. So I'm going to show how you set them up and what all the parts are about. Stephen's with us. Thanks for being here, Stephen. Facebook didn't tell me you joined, mate, so I appreciate your comment. That way, I know. I'm just doing a little bit of housekeeping. Sorry, guys. Anywho, Oscar's truck. Here she is, in her rusted out glory. Doesn't she look good? Oscar loves it, by the way. He stopped by the other day to show me his old man got a TRX4, wanted me to run my eyes over it, make sure he got a good deal, which he did. Lovely. When Oscar first seen this, I had it sitting on the roof of my car. When Oscar first seen it, he was just like this. Like, is that my truck? Like, there you go, dude. There's your truck. At that stage, I hadn't done the lights. There's a few bits and pieces. I hadn't done the roll bar or the side steps, etc. But as it stands, this truck can go out and wheel. But we're still missing one side mirror. I do have the other one in the box. One side mirror, one light lens for this one. One light lens and one of the chrome rings for it. I want those parts so badly. So I'm working with Rob, Robert Mazza from Cross RC, working with Rob to try and get those parts to me ASAP so I can get this little beauty trail ready, Mickey Mouse, everything done and dusted. So that's where we're at with Oscar's truck. What do you reckon? Do you reckon she looks good? Smash some likes and such if you do. They're free. Right, so now I'm going to sit this somewhere. You'll have to... I'm running out of room here real quick. Right. I'm going to also just quickly close this door as it quietens down the noise from outside. I'm going to move my demon. Right, now I've got a bit of room back because for our next trick, I'm going to need some room and some more coffee. If I get really stuck, I'll grab the book out for this bad boy. Right. So much stuff going on. Ugh. So, for those that don't know, this is a Cross RC PG4L. The L stands for long. That's what it is. It is a massive bit of kit. Do I recommend you build one? Yes, I really do. I mean, I've got a PG4 sitting right down here, so if you want to do that, let me know. I've got a PG4, and then there's the PG4L, which is, for those that don't know, a dually. This thing's a tank on wheels. There's no two ways about it. God, that's heavy. Right, there's a question. Jamie says he's restoring a GC4 for his old man. Awesome. I love them. I love mine. I should drive it more. Thomas, what do you think about the RC4 drive Mickey Thompson Baja Claw TTC 1.9s? I don't know. I've not used them. And that's just honesty. I've not used them. With tyres, this is what I find. You have a lot of people that go, oh, they're awesome. Then there's going to be other people that prefer different brands that are going to go, oh, they're shit. It all depends on what ground you drive on, what your budget is, what you want to spend, what sort of look you want to go for. There's lots of different things. What I recommend is get used to buying multiple sets of tyres. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sets of wheels and tyres sitting over there that don't get used. They're just there. It's in case I want to use them, I can just bolt them straight on a truck. I've got another set of wheels and tyres there. I've got 2 sets of rims in my drawer here. It's just personal preference, mate. The best bit of advice I can give you about tyres is buy them and try them. If you're happy to spend the money and go, well, if they're shit, at least they look good. But sometimes this is how it works. I mean, I've got plenty of tyres in my Scale Garage here. I know are crap, but they look good in my Scale Garage. Okay? Right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly whip the cab off the truck here. Just want to see how much I can see of the transmission, etc. Mike's joined us. Thanks for joining, Mike. Right, I've got stuff here everywhere. That's my motorbikes, that's my that, that's my that. Right, so we're not going to see too much from the top, which is fine. We should be able to do this from the bottom of the truck. Now I was going to bring the GC4 over here and pull the tray off it and all that sort of such, but on the front of the cab you can see the tiny little white box just there. That's the speaker box. It's just a nightmare trying to disconnect that speaker box wire because that runs down into my scale motor. It's a nightmare. So I cancelled that idea real quick. I'm honest. Right, let me put this cab back on because we don't need to take it off. I just wanted to do a bit of check, just in case. That's back on. Now I don't know how well you're going to see this. Okay, so Lee, I've got to put a thing on my bench because I can't wreck my chrome bumper. I love my chrome bumpers, so I'm going to put a nice microfiber cloth on my bench. Look after your trucks, people. Okie dokie. So this, Lee, is the setup that you've got for your 2-speed transmission. Now the servo for this is hidden up in here. At the moment, that's not important. Actually, the servo is just there, but that's not overly important. Now, the book recommends that you use a 10mm servo horn. Technically, it doesn't have to be 10. If you can adjust the throw, how far your servo moves on your radio, it can be 20. You just need to drop your radio back so it doesn't move as far. The main thing with all this, like as long as you follow the book on how this stuff goes together. There's a spring there, there's a rod, the spring's around a rod, little brass coupling there, there's a little tensioner bolt here. You'll see I've got that wound down quite a lot. Now, that little spring setup, there's another spring on the top side too, that little spring setup is essentially your clutch. So if this is too loose, I mean, you can wind this off generally with your fingers. Yeah. If that's too loose, it's not going to push it into gear hard enough. So you can see I've wound mine down damn near as far as it goes. So don't stress too much about it. As long as you follow the instructions, mate, you'll be fine with it. If you do get really stuck, message me. Worst case, we'll do a personal video call and I'll run through everything with you. If I have to, I'll pull my GC4 apart to show you how mine's all set. Now, I can't remember if the GC4 came with its own little servo horn. If you like, I can quickly go and grab the book and we can have a bit of a look while we're sitting here. I can't remember if it came with its own servo horn or not. If it didn't, most new servos that you get, I've usually got some of it sitting here, come with a little bag of servo horns and such. For something like this, you can possibly just cut a longer servo horn, drill another hole in it so that it's 10mm apart and fit it that way. But essentially the main thing is the adjustment on your radio for how far that throws. So with your main bars here, I know it's hard to see and I apologise for that. So that's the bar that goes to the transmission. Okay, you bolt that on. Don't do it crazy tight. You want just a little bit of movement in there, a little bit of freeness. So you've got that there, and then your rod end, your rod, spring here, spring on the top side, and then your little brass piece part in the middle, which hooks to, that is actually the servo arm, just there. Right, let me read your comments just to see where you're at, and I'll talk you through it. I have 2 or 3 bags of parts. I'm sure I can find one that'll fit. Awesome. That's awesome. Like I say, worst case, if you've got, I mean, you don't need a big metal one. I've got a plastic one on this, and I'm pretty sure a plastic one on that. All you need to do is, if it's way too long, it's going to hit stuff on your body, which, I can't remember how much room's under that truck, but if it's way too long, measure out 10 or 12mm on the, going from the, if I've got a servo horn here, I should have, bear with me, I took one off Oscar's truck and put a new one on it for him. Here we go, I've got a bloody bag of them. Every now and then I'll buy a bag of stuff like this just for cheap little builds. In saying that, they're a lot stronger than a lot of servo horns out there. This one comes with two holes in it. So you go the inner hole. which is essentially what I've done on this truck and would have done on that one. I don't have really short servo horns laying around. So Cindy's joined us. Thanks for joining, Cindy. I'm sidetracked now. So yeah, I mean, essentially, mate, as close to 10 as you can get it to make it easier on yourself, and depending on what adjustment you've got. I don't know what sort of radio you've got. If you can let me know that, that'll probably help me a lot in helping you set the truck up properly so as everything works Mickey Mouse. If you don't set it up properly, and I definitely wind that bolt down on the clutch setup. If you don't, and it doesn't go into gear properly, your truck can free roll. And that's scary. When I built the Mammoth, first time out, I forgot to tighten that bloody nut up. First time out, went to smash her into second gear, and it didn't grab. And the truck free rolled. And a 40-pound truck taking off downhill, scary. I give you the tip. First run out, it's like, who's coming out? My truck's taking off downhill. I just had to smash it back and forward in the gears a bit until it finally grabbed one of the gears and slowed itself down. So that was scary. So that's essentially the, without doing a full-blown hour live feed on how to set those up. Once you start putting the pieces together, do that little nut up a bit. Once you start putting those together, it'll all make sense and go together really easily. So I hope that helps, mate. I hope that helps. Like I say, if there's more questions, if we need to dive into it deeper, message me after the feed. If we have to, we'll do a video call and we'll get you sorted out. So that's that. I'm going to turn my fan on because it's getting rather warm in here. I ordered the Spectrum DC5. Okay, so if you've got a Spectrum DC5, that will have a system, I'll say similar. I've got a DX6. Now, it's not going to be exactly the same sort of firmware, etc. and so on, because twin stick, etc. But you will be able to go through the menu on your radio and you will find, what's it called? I should be able to find it on here for you, what it's called, so you'll know what to look for. DR and Expo. So that's your dual rate. You can also go into providing the DX, whatever it is, DC5's got it. Servo setup. And in the servo setup, you can actually limit how far each servo throws. This is why I run stuff on radios like this, because you can do everything. People are shocked that I'm still running the factory servos besides the steering servo, like the locker servos and gear changer servos in my TRX4. It's because it runs off this, and I can stop them overstretching all the time and frying themselves. Adam's joined us. Thanks for joining, Adam. Much appreciated, mate. So that's pretty much the gist of how those two speeds work. You can shift them on the fly. You don't have to be stopped. Before you take it out, sit it on the floor, run through a few scenarios of, whether you're driving forwards and then switch gears, or you drive forward, stop, switch gears, keep going. The first time you try it on a hill, you do it so the truck is facing uphill and you're behind it so that you can catch it should it free roll backwards. Top tip. Because you're free rolling trucks. I mean, even the GC4 is pretty heavy. Free rolling trucks are scary. Okay. So that's that. So I hope that helps. I really do. Like I say, if it doesn't or you get stuck, you know how to contact me. Right. Now, a little fun topic, because I like fun. Let me just move some of my shite out of the way. Now, a little fun topic that came up the other day was painting light lenses. So I figured I'll show you guys how I paint light lenses. Doesn't mean it's the perfect best end-all ways of doing it, but it works for me, and I generally think I get pretty good results. So, we're going to... I need to shave. I really do. Yoink, yoink. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here. Thought there were some parts there that I needed, but this time. My Jeep has the XL5 no drag brake. Nick, get yourself 1080 waterproof, mate. Bloody brilliant. They are the best value for money rock crawler ESC you'll get. Don't care what anyone says. You've got, I think, 15 different settings that you can, 15 different settings that you can change. I think they're about $40, and they're waterproof. They've got plenty of power. They've got different drag brake settings. They've got different boost settings for how much you floor it and initial power and all this sort of stuff. Get one of those. I guarantee if you get one, you'll message me later and say, thank you for recommending this SC. They're brilliant. Tips on weathering legs and body. I'll tell you what, I'll do one better. After I do the lenses and the little battery chat, because I had Tim ask me about batteries, I'm going to see if I can tag him in a moment. How I do stuff with battery, I'll get to that in a minute. I'll do the lenses first. So I've got a little sheet of light lenses here. Okay. Now the best, again, don't care what anyone says, this is true. The best light lens paint you'll get. This is your red X27 from Tamiya. X26 is your orange. So I'm going to show you how easy it is just to get a wicked look on your lenses. Now I've just got an old sheet of clear lenses here. They're from, I don't even know what they're from, if I'm honest. An old Axial tree, AX 80049, for those wondering. No one's wondering. Right, I've got some brushes here that have been sitting in dirty water. This is my weathering water. This is how easy this is. You've got to have some old microfiber cloths lying around that are just the best. So I'm going to quickly just run this in the end of this cloth here to clean off the end of my brush. That's all you need to do. Right, so we're going to do red first. Now, generally speaking, I will paint the outside of a lens. Always have, it's just what I've done. You can do the inside if you want. Hell, I'll do one of the insides red. I'll do one of the insides and one of the outsides of these two lenses. That'll give you a good idea of the difference in look. Right, so we're going to dab about, I know it's hard to tell, not much. I'm just going to do the inside of this one first. So I'm just going to start putting it on. Not hugely thick. You can see yourself, that's not hugely thick. You will find with this stuff that you'll push it around more than you will paint it, if that makes sense. With a lot of finer painting, you are more so pushing the paint than you are painting. Once you do it the first time, that makes total sense. Right, so I'll just try and make this now so it's all even. That's one of the most important things. If you paint a light lens and you don't do it evenly, it'll stick out like dog's testicles. Right, so that's the first coat. That already looks cheap to me. I know it's hard, it doesn't focus very well, and I apologise for that, but that's the first coat and it looks cheap. Because this is where it comes down to the quality of the lens. Now for the one beside it, I will paint the outside. Right. Grab some paint on here. Nick, I have the TRX4 Sport and it has the XL5 with drag brake. So is your drag brake not working? The XL5, the one that's in, I assume, I haven't looked this much into it, I assume the ESC that is with the Sport is the same that's on the normal TRX4, yes? Because there is a crawler mode. And it's rather easy to set. This is going to test my memory. When the truck's turned off, you hold the power button. You will get a series of flashes of the light. So you'll have one flash, then you'll have two flashes of the light, then you'll have three flashes of the light, and then four. On the fifth flash of the light, let go of the power button. And that should initiate crawl mode. Once you've got crawl mode, you'll have, I believe, 100% drag brake. Okay, so pushing my paint around the light lens here, just about done. Sorry if this has taken forever, but I want to sort of get across the point of what I'm doing. Tony Gutierrez has joined us. Thanks for joining, Tony. So now you can instantly see. Now with this lens paint, once it sits for a bit, it settles in and gives you a smooth coating. So you can see the difference already. This isn't focusing very well, but this looks like a normal brake light. This looks cheap. Don't do the inside of your lenses. Okay. So that's how we do our lenses. I'll do some orange ones too. I can't do 2 seconds on this and be finished. I will take a photo of this after the feed and show you the difference because it is monumental. Massively different. Right, so that's my red out of the way. I'm going to fire up the X26 orange. Now these lens paints, I've had these for probably 2 years. That's how much I've used. So it's a good investment. Tony, self-leveling paint. Essentially, yes. That may sound dumb to some people, but a lot of Tamiya paints, even the spray paints, if you hit them with the right amount of thickness when you paint them, it will level itself out and you'll get a better paint job from it. It does take a bit of getting the hang of. I mean, there's been plenty of paint jobs I've screwed up and gone, oh, that's terrible. Weather it. No. But you'll go, oh, geez, that's crap. It doesn't look shiny and whatever else. You've really got to nail getting the paint down so it's just got that right consistency, especially with the clear coat with Tamiya. Once you get the hang of clear coat, turns out perfect. Johnny Rains has joined us. Nick, my Jeep is a trail stomper with the old XL5. Oh, yeah. And you love it because it doesn't have the drag brake. Because you like to live on the edge. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing with my orange. I'm going to do the inside of one lens. I'm going to do the outside of the other. I need some more paint. So just painting the inside of the lens. Now, if you guys find yourself enjoying this feed, feel free to give it a share. In case there's anyone else out there that might like to learn a bit about what we talked about already, learn a bit about what we're going to do next, etc. and so on. So far, lately, the live feeds have been getting some pretty bloody good view counts, so that's awesome. Right, so that's that one painted. Same as this one over here. It looks cheap. I wouldn't put that on my truck. Now I'm going to do the outside of the next one. I love painting light lenses. It's just one of the most rewarding things. Now, if you're wondering why I'm holding my fingers like I am, it's so that I can rest one hand on the other, and that way I can sort of steady each hand as I go. Because sometimes steadying's not easy to do. Now, with the orange, Nick, if you paint both sides, I think you're gonna block too much light out. I can do it I'll do it on a tester for you. But just from what I've found, now that's only one coat of orange. Generally, you will do 2 coats of orange. So I'll let that sit for a little bit. I'll hold it in front of the fan just to tacky it up a bit. If you paint both sides, it's probably gonna go cloudy. You'll notice that the ones I've painted on the inside already look cloudy. If there's any cloudiness, using that word too much, if there's any cloudiness in the plastic, as soon as you paint behind the plastic, that cloudiness, word of the day, that cloudiness sticks out. Right. So I'm going to hit this with a little bit more now. One moment. Like I said before, this is pushing the paint, not painting the paint. That's, in my experience anyway, that's how you get it. You get it smoother. I can't believe putting so much effort into painting the light lens. It's never going to see a vehicle. Right. So now, when you first do it, that'll look a bit streaky. But as it sits, it will level itself out. There is actually lines in that lens though, so that's probably not helping. But that straight away gives you the idea. This looks like a plastic light lens. This looks cheap, in my opinion. Johnny Rain, flat clear on the outside. Okay, I will never ever flat clear a light lens because it turns it into frosted glass. If you want to weather a light lens, here's what I do. Again, No expert, this is just what I do. I'll grab, not that one, that one, I think. Yep. And I need an applicator. I'll show you how I weather light lenses, and that's how I did it on Oscar's truck and the Camels and whatever else. I'm running out of applicators. Where? I must have one here somewhere. This is the problem when your desk has too much shite on it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to do a bit of a hunt for... I've got an old Ford Bronco body over there. And someone said... Thomas? Oh, Doug's joined us. Thanks for joining, Doug. Tom Allen's joined us. Thanks for joining, Tom. Doug says, hello from York, Pennsylvania. Every time I hear Pennsylvania, I think of all the vampire movies. I'm not taking the piss, I promise. I can't find my applicators. More land of applicators. I must have more here somewhere. Bear with me, people. Bear with me. Anyway, if I weather... I can't believe I can't find them. I've got 100,000 of those things, and I can't find one. I think I'm going to give up the look. I think I'm going to give up the look for them. There's one. Found one. Sweet. Now I can show you. Oh, pretty good. There. Okay, so when I weather... Johnny, you're a bloody champion. Thanks for the shares, buddy. I really appreciate it. Okay, so when I weather light lenses... Is this one still tacky? Yes. So I've painted the outside of that lens, and it's this simple. I'm going to grab my dust, dip my applicator in the dust so that I've got a good dollop of it on the end of here. And then I'm ever so gently just going to dab it onto the outside of the lens. And I mean really gently. If you do it hard, you're just going to smear it and it won't look weathered. It'll just look shite. Ever so gently. Tony, what time is it in Australia? 20 to 12, Tony. 20 to 12, nearly midday. So essentially what I'm doing here is putting the dust into the paint. Now, I know Facebook's terrible. I will take pictures. But that gives you a bit of an idea. Now, what you can do if you want to make it dirty and darker is I will rub this dust off my applicator, makeup brush, whatever you want to call it. Drew's back. Andreas has joined us. Thanks for joining, mate. Right, so I'm going to dab this in my darker colour. And before I apply it, I'm just going to get a tiny little bit of my indicator lens paint. I'm just going to put a couple of little splodges. Just a few little dots. Lovely. Taking go the water. Now I'm just same deal. Ever so gently, I'm just going to apply some of the darker dust. When you do this sort of stuff, you've got to use a lot of dust. And this is where weathering gets expensive. For me it does anyway, because these packs aren't cheap. Lovely. That looks quite good. It looks like it's got a nice little muddy mark on it. Lovely. You won't see it very well. I will post a picture later. So let me try something. Try not to wreck everything here. Flip that. That doesn't show it very well. That's only showing the dirty stuff. When you look at it like that, you get the full effect of it. So now you see the difference of painting the inside and outside of your lenses. $20 each, mate. Okay, I don't feel so bad now. There's $17.50 here, Johnny. $17.50. It's bloody daylight robbery. So that gives you a bit of an idea. Once that is on a truck, those dark splotches on this one won't look so much like just dark splotches. But now you see why I paint lenses, how I paint lenses. You paint the inside, you've got all the ribbing and stuff to deal with, and you're just going to end up with a lens that looks weird. You look at the ones on the, like these two at the bottom, well, that doesn't help now because we weathered it. But if you look at this one, you can see it looks like a it looks like a brand new plastic lens, and then all of a sudden this one looks a bit shitey, which is what we were doing. What you would actually do with this one is probably do a few more dabs in the areas where that light's going through. You can see where the light's going through the middle of the lens. You do a couple of little dabs there, and a powder that's a medium colour between the light and the darker stuff, just to sort of blend it all together. But once that was on a vehicle, that would actually look quite good, I think. So that gives you a good idea of how we weather lenses. That worked? Good. Lovely. Now, at least that way you can see what I was talking about. Okay, so that's that. This is such a hoop you throw together live feed. It's not funny. It's like, what am I going to do? I knew Lee wanted to see the gearbox stuff, and that was the main reason we did the live feed today, for Lee's benefit. So again, I hope it helps, Lee. I really do. Whew, right. So I'm going to do just a really quick how to with the lipos. I know a lot of people find lipo talk boring, but I got asked by Tim. I'm going to tag, see if I can anyway. Let me see if I can tag Tim. Bam. Tagged him. Go Facebook. On the other orange lens, put one coat on the outside. All right, just for you, mate. Just for you. And then we'll do the battery thing. So I'll do this real quick. Lee, yes, thank you very much. I appreciate the time. My pleasure, mate. It's my pleasure. BCRC is here to help people whenever we can. I mean, my phone goes off all day, and I try and help everyone. I don't turn anyone away. So if I can help someone out, that's what I'll do. Right, now I'm going to paint the outside of that lens. Come on, paintbrush, cooperate. It still looks shit. Now it looks too orange, and it looks splotchy. So I've just done a quick coat on the outside for Nick. Just, it looks terrible because the lines from the inside of the lens are just, you can't see it properly, but I see all the clear slits and stuff in the lines from the back of it. I mean, when you paint a lens, you don't want to just dump paint on it everywhere. Otherwise, when your light goes off, you're like, I can't see my lights, not bright enough. So outside of lenses, Tamiya paints, definitely Tamiya paints. I've never ever seen any other lens paint do a better job than Tamiya stuff, and they're cheap. These are like $3 or $4, something like that. And they last you a lifetime. So get yourself some of these. So that's that. Next, a little quick battery talk. Bob joined us. Thanks for joining, Bob. Nick says, you're awesome. Thanks, Nick. I'm just an RC bloke helping other RC blokes. That's what it is. Okay, so lipos. And not just lipos. We've got a nickel metal battery sitting here too. Brush the dust off this bad boy. That's a 3S lipo. This is a 2S lipo. This has more voltage and more oomph than this. Now, this is a pretty basic battery talk, and it's because Tim hasn't had lipos before. So I'm just going to give you the quick nitty gritty. This is how lipos work. The biggest rule of a lipo: do not charge it in your truck. Lipos can and will explode. If it's in your truck, not only do you lose a $50 battery, you lose however much your truck's worth too. That's the biggest tip I can give you. You're going to hear a lot of people say about storing lipos, and they should be in ammo cans and stuff like that. I don't put mine in ammo cans. Mine are on a shelf. Okay? If you constantly rotate your lipos, now if you've only got one truck, and if you've got one truck, buy 2 lipos. Don't buy one. Buy 2 lipos so that you can rotate. Buy 2 lipos so that you can have one as your main battery, and then one is get your truck back to the car battery should one run out. Never just run one, because if you're constantly draining the crap out of one all the time, you're going to end up killing the lipo. if you can help it, take your truck out, run your truck for until you hit LiPo cutoff. That's on your ESC. Read up on your ESC about LiPo cutoff. It is a must. If you have an ESC set to nickel metal batteries, it will just drain every bit of juice out of your LiPo and kill it. It will get to a point where you charge it. Now, this is just a cheap little charge that I use. It's nothing fancy, but it's done the job for 2.5 years, and I probably really should upgrade it. Anyway, it works. In the end, there's different plugs. 2S, 3S, 4S, 5S, 6S. Make sure you plug them into the correct plug. That way, this knows what it's doing when it goes to charge the LiPo. If you plug it into the wrong plug, this will go and you'll panic, okay? And it'll say connection error or something like that. That just means that you've got it plugged into the wrong thing. Battery plugs for your batteries. Make sure, now this is for a Deans, that's I only run Deans. Make sure your positive is on the top of the T and your negative is on the bottom of the T. All right, that's for Deans. Batteries always have female plugs. Okay, these are top tips here for free. If you get those wires wrong, when you plug it into your ESC, magic smoke will come out, and you can't get that smoke back into your ESC. Okay, that is the life force of your ESC escaping, which means it's dead. Barry Jones has joined us. Alt has joined us. Thanks for joining, fellas. Today's a quick tidbits, and this is how we do this with batteries and whatever else, and weathering. We're going to do some more weathering in a minute. I suggest you go back and watch from the start at some stage, because it's a lot of different RC stuff in one video. So Tim asked me about batteries. Now, Tim, this is a nickel metal battery. For rock crawlers, they can be fine. You're going to have a lot of people will say, nickel metal batteries is shit, don't use those. Now, if you use a 5,000 pack, which I run in my, here it is here. These things are damn near bulletproof. Right, damn near. You have half the chance of this blowing up, this. Fact. Okay? These are good for weight. If you've got a truck where your battery sits reasonably low, like SCX10, you can put this up on the front. It'll help the truck out. Of course, you are going to be having weight a little higher up, but still. These batteries in a standard SCX10 will last 2.5 hours. You can pick them up cheap. Okay, I'm putting it out there. They are not useless. And nickel metal batteries, Tamiya trucks, marriage made in heaven. True story. That's why I've got big ass packs like this still, because I run them in my Tamiya trucks. Anywho, so that's your nickel metal. There's no balance cord on a nickel metal. It's positive and negative. Plug it in, charge it, done. Balance cord on a LiPo. This ensures that the correct amount of charge goes to the correct cell in the LiPo, and everything's happy, and we've got a good chemical balance. These LiPos, I didn't realise when I bought them. I bought these for Hannah's Fly Sky controller, because this stupid thing runs 3S batteries. Anyway, I can also use these in the Mammoth. These have actually got a battery tester in the end. That's a 100% charged. Now, you're going to have a lot of people say, don't leave batteries lying around charged. Oh my God. If you're going to have them sitting around charged for a while, don't do it for months. If you know you're not going to use batteries for a while, there is a feature on LiPo chargers called storage charge. Do a storage charge and it will drop the value. I can't think of what it is. I think it's about 3.8 volts per cell. You guys may correct me if I'm incorrect. Do a storage charge, then perhaps put them in a container of some sort, so that if they do go poof, then that's a dual sky battery, Thomas. I mean, I've got batteries of all brands. You're going to have a lot of people go, I only run Gens Ace because everything else is shit. Okay, mate. That's not the case with batteries, I'm afraid. A lot of these batteries are all made in the same place. So for all you know, what's inside this box is actually the same as this, except for the fact that there's a 2S and this is a 3S, but that's beside the point. A lot of these batteries that are wrapped, especially the wrapped ones, okay, the wrap's different. what's inside's the same. What have I got? I've got some other batteries here, but I mean, that's the logistics of it, okay? Don't... make sure you've got LiPo cut off on your ESC. Otherwise, you're going to wreck your battery. And I remember the first LiPo I had, it lasted 25 minutes in a drifter. Screwed it. Wrecked it. Had no idea. There is a little trick to revive a LiPo. Don't do it. And I'm saying that because you've never had LiPos before. Drew, usually around 3.8 volt. Nailed it. Johnny, mine's still Traxxas, no issues. If you look after batteries, they look after you. Until that day they go, boom. I've never had one explode. Tony, I stored two 2S batteries for 2 years in store mode. No issue. Ta-da! Look after your batteries. That's one of the biggest things. Don't throw it at your mates. Funny as it might be, it could hit the ground at a certain angle. Probably won't. That's just for comedy value there. But you just look after your batteries. Don't overuse them in the sense of have LiPo cutoff set on your ESC. Don't charge them as soon as you finish using them. Don't charge them. Give them a bit of cool down time. Let everything settle. That's the main things, Tim. If you've got any other big bad questions, shoot me a message. I hope Tim watches this. He better. If you've got any other questions, mate, shoot me a message and I'll do my best to answer them as best I possibly can. Hopefully that may have helped some other people out there too. How cool is that tester on these dual sky batteries? I love that. Brilliant. So I keep my batteries on a shelf in a garage. I bet there's people out there cringing right now. Oh my God, they're not in an ammo can? No, they're not. Right, so that's those. I'm going to have a swig of my coffee and then I'm going to grab an old Lexan body. I'll turn the camera in. You can look at some of my scale accessories. Because, you know, scale. Right, let me just do that. Let me just flip that. Right, while you have a look at... Check out that little ape I ate down there. Woo! Right, so now... I'm going to see if I can find what I did with this little forward body. There it is. Okay. Ta-da! Right. Poor old body. Not really. It's an old Tamiya rip-off body that they use on the RGT crawlers. Tony, question. Single stage foam or dual stage foams? Look, I've got trucks with both, and really, I mean, for what you're going to use it for, Tony, it doesn't really matter, if I'm honest. Lee, I have 7 or 8 batteries, and they're all just sitting out there on my desk. I'm like, you take care of them, I take care of your back. That's exactly right. Just never charge them in your trucks. Just don't do it. I see too many posts on Facebook. It'd be just like, a dude posts a picture and a sad face emoticon. You see his truck's all melted and shit. Like, dude, you asked for it. Sorry. Bob reckons it depends on the weight of your rig. Yeah, I guess so, Bob. But I mean, at the same time too, I mean, as some of you guys know, I make a lot of my own foams for my tyres. I made them for the TRX4 because the foams, they come with dual stage foams and they were too light. Oscar's joined us. Thanks for joining, Oscar. You have to go back and watch where I show your truck off. You've seen it enough anyway. So I made my own foams for the TRX4 and they're single stage, but there's a denser foam. So that's sort of, I guess, a different way of looking at it too. Look, play around with it. I mean, a lot of web pages now will tell you this is the weight that's recommended for this foam, what tyre, etc. and so on. So if you're just going to do a bit of scale driving and cruising around and just enjoy watching how the truck works and such, you don't have to spend big money on foams. When I make my own foams for trucks, like sometimes I'll buy foams, that's fine. When I make my own foams, it costs me about $1.50 and my time. Which, is it that valuable? Okay, so next on the list, Lexan body. Cheap as chips. These things painted at like 20 bucks. This is off an RGT Rock Cruiser. Awesome fun little truck, great for beginners. I would recommend them. This is a direct rip-off of a Tamiya body. Now I know this because it's even got the mould lines. You can't see it, but it's got mould lines here. The Tamiya body, obviously, this is cut out and it's got a fancy grill in it. Illustrated here. Okay, that's the Tamiya body on an MST crawler. Truck I prepared earlier. Right, now, I think it was Nicholas. What foam do you use? Memory foam, yes. I use memory foam. But if you're going to do that, keep your truck jacked up. Otherwise, it'll remember those flat spots, and you don't want that. Okay, so Nick was saying, how do you weather Lexan bodies? Jeremy Griffiths joined us. Thanks for joining, Jeremy. Kyle Ross has joined us. Thanks for joining, Kyle. How do you weather Lexan body? We're going to do a quick. Everything today has been quick. What you want is some weathering kits from Tamiya. I've got to check how much of each I've got. So that's got some rust in it. That's got some... What else has it got? Rust, gunmetal, and silver. You can mix those three together and make a really nice, dense, thick, textured rust. That's the same. It's nearly empty. This one's got sand, light sand, and mud. We'll use that too. This one I'll use a lot, and I need another one. Has got, what is it? Soot, snow, and rust. The rust is all gone. I use a lot of rust. The soot is really good for background detail. I'll show you what I mean in a moment. That's another one of the same. I go through a lot of rust. D has got burnt blue, burnt red, and oil stain. Also handy for rusty stuff that doesn't look like the other rusty stuff you've done. Right, so we're going to do a quick blow the dust off that. First things first, this is going to be a really quick demonstration on how you can add some rusty detail to your truck. Really quick. It's hard to line all this up properly. Let me see if I can tilt this down a bit without my phone falling over. Now, I suggest I'll try and hold it up as I do it so you can see. What I'm going to do is, you'll notice in the middle of my soot, there's a big missing piece. That's because I dip my brush in my dirty water. Dirty water is the best for weathering. Dirty water straight into my sooty piece. All right, now this is our backing. What we're going for here is the paint has come off, and this is like an old dirty spot underneath where the paint used to be. So I'm going to dip my brush in my water, dip it into my soot colour. Now this is straight on top of a Lexan body. So we'll do a bit of a random sort of mark over here. All right, that's our mark. I'm going to grab my little applicator and just give it a bit of a random sort of a dab and a push around so that it doesn't look so obvious, because obvious weathering is not good weathering. Okay, so let's give us a random sort of a mark. Yeah? Lovely. Now what I'm going to do is have my sand colour. I've got something here. This will do. With these powders, I like to scratch up the powder and use it probably in a way that Tamiya wouldn't recommend, because it uses powder pretty quick. So I'm just going to scratch up my powders, and I'll show you what I mean in a momento. Lovely. Right, so is it normal to have a lot of extra screws after building method rims? I don't know, I've never built some, but if they're nice, they'll leave you some spares. All good companies give you spare screws, especially when they're that small. You're going to drop one. So I've scratched up the dust. You can sort of see it scratched up in there. Now our little black stain is nearly all but dried. Okay. Now what we're going to do is dab a little bit of water around the outside of our stain. I've used this body before for weathering. I'll put a dent in it. I'm going to use, what's that one? Light sand. It's not the darkest, it's not the lightest. Now I'm just going to start working that around the outside. Can you guys see? Start working that around the outside of my mark. And then over our mark a bit. And just keep working it. Working it. Make your own jokes. Just keep working it. I'm just going to keep... I know it's hard to tell. I'll flip the camera around in a moment and give you a bit of a... I'll give you a bit of a look, see what we're doing here. Right, lovely. Lovely, lovely. I don't want it too thick. So that's where we're at. We've got our dirt. We've got our black mark there. Work it, girl, says Jeremy. Now what I'm going to do, that's a quick way to add dirt and just old dirty marks to your truck, right? That's all well and good, and that doesn't take long. Now what we're going to do, we're going to step it up a notch. Bam! Futurama, kick it up a notch. I'm going to grab some black paint. Uh-oh. We're gonna add some rusty Mc detail to this truck. That's right, I said Mc. Right, I'm going to scratch up some burnt blue. I'm going to scratch up some of my orange. A little bit of oil stain. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to apply some black paint just on the inside of where we did our black mark earlier, right? Some black paint in there. Now, this can all be used with SCART accessories too. Doug, I find the weathering and other scale work to be fascinating. Sadly, I lack the skill and patience to do it. Anyone can do it, mate. I promise you that. Anyone can do it. I'm going to go for the burnt blue. Right, and I'm going to gently dab some on. Some more. Just keep dabbing it on. Now, the burnt blue with the black will make it look like a bit of an oily mess. Alright, so if an oily mess is what you're going for, we got you sorted. Not only that, because we're using a powder and we're using paint, it is textured. Now, that's a bit hard to see. It's so annoying. I need more cameras and such. What I will do, at risk of wrecking the live feed, I will grab said camera, flip that around. Okay, so now you can see the texture and such in that. You can see the dirt, you can see the dent that I did ages ago. To dent a Lexan body, heat it up with a cigarette lighter. Once it starts to bubble, like as soon as it starts to bubble, whack it with a screwdriver. that'll dent it real quick. So you can see the texture we've got there. Jamie Taylor's joined us. Thanks for joining, Jamie. I'm going to see if I can... Here we go. Okay. I'm also going to turn my fan off so that you don't have to listen to the fan. Rotate that a bit more that way. Okay, how's that for everyone? Is that good? Is that nice? Right, now I'm going to sit my black paint just here. I'm going to grab my brush. I'm going to scrape up some orange rust. I'm trying not to talk too loud because the phone's closer now and I don't want to scream in your ear holes. If you find yourself liking this feed, feel free to give it a share. So far, Johnny Rains is winning with 4 shares. It's not a competition. If you want to make it a competition, go for it. I'm going to sit that there. I wouldn't normally do it like this. This is for your benefit, not mine, obviously. Okay, so now we're going to add some extra detail to our stained little patch here. I will put a photo on the page later. So I'm going to get a little bit of paint. And I'm going to run some paint down the hood line here, like there's a bit of rust on the edge of the hood. A few random little dabbies. You don't want your paint too thick, otherwise it's going to look shite. I wish I could do that with mine, but it always turns out like a big turd. Mate, I'm sure I've made plenty of turds. You know, you're not just going to do this stuff and be an expert. You've got to have a few turds before you have some wins. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm just dabbing the rust straight onto the paint. And this is extra handy because it keeps the rust on the truck. When you touch it with your fingers before you clear coat everything, it doesn't wipe everything off. Right, I'm just going to keep working that in. Work it for Jeremy, work it. Right, work that in. Brush some of the excess off the top. Obviously, I'm rushing this. So that gives you a bit of an idea. That is textured rust right there. Jamie never left. Sorry, mate. Facebook lies to me all the time. Okay, so we've got that there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of water around the side. I'm going to get some of my oil stain. I'm just going to work some of that into the rust that's there and into the body as well. Right, that gives you a bit of an idea. So for those wondering how you weather a Lexan body, that's how you do it. Now, that's not all you do, obviously, because if you go and drive that through a river, you'll come out with a few little spots where there's paint and dust stuck to paint, and then the rest of it's gone. You will need to flat clear your car. You will flat clear it because rust isn't shiny. So that gives you a bit of an idea. What do you think of that? Those scratches, authentic. I didn't do those. But that gives you a bit of an idea. Obviously, that's a rust job, but that's a rusty spot on the old Ford. What do you think? Is that good? Does that look like a real deal? So that's that. Right, now I'm gonna try and put my camera back to normal without wrecking everything. Shout out to RC, mate. Woo! Right. I'm going to turn my fan back on because it's getting quite hot in here already. So that's how you do that. And then you're going to get, once you do everything, you'll mask your windows because you do not flat clear windows. It turns it to frosted glass. Mask everything up and then flat clear the whole thing. Just a nice, don't lay it on stupid thick. Do light little coats, couple of coats, Mickey Mouse, you're done. Then you're going to have rusty old truck. And you can see that didn't take too long. That was a bit of a rust job, obviously, but that didn't take too long. Once, like, anyone out there can do that. I've done a live feed not long ago on Oscar's truck weathering stuff. If I'm correct, I did one a long time ago weathering the Camel. The content's there if you want to watch it. So you guys can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. You just need to start picturing rust. How does it look? You have to layer rust to get it good. So we done like 4 layers there. We did our water with soot for the first layer. We did our dust over the top for the second. We did our black paint. We did our rust on top. We did our oil stain. We did our burnt blue on top. Then we did our rust, and then we did oil stain around it. So there's like 6 layers for one little piece. By the time you do a complete body, that takes a long time. You can use that sort of method for stud accessories. So here's a Year Racing winch that is a plastic winch, and it's just how you get it when it comes in the packet. Here's what it looks like weathered. It's upside down. Here's what it looks like weathered. So, pretty big difference. I know this light doesn't help, and I apologise for this. There. Gives you the idea? So, buy some scarlet accessories, buy some weathering kits, sit down and go, get excited, because this stuff's fun. I quite enjoy weathering stuff, and that's why I've always got lots of scarlet accessories. I'm 3/4 away from putting an order through to RC Mart, and it's like, I add scarlet accessories, I've got heaps of them. Heaps. But I add them so that I can weather stuff and play with them and whatever else. It's good fun, rainy day stuff, or just, if you want to try and wrap your head around how to do this stuff, here you go, weather some stuff. Also, I'm going to be building a scale garage that's 2 foot longer and 1 foot deeper than what I've got now, so I need more scale accessories. Can't wait to build this garage. Right, I think that's most of the stuff that I had planned. I don't know how long this has been going for. Is there anything anyone wants to see, talk about, etc.? because I think I've gone over everything I was planning for a Throw Together live feed. It was like, I knew I was going to do stuff for Lee, and then I was like, well, I can't just do that. It's too short. We'll weather something. We'll do batteries, because Tim asked about batteries and whatever else. So now's the time. If you want to talk about anything, let me know, because otherwise we're going to call it a day. That's good though. We got some stuff done. I can't think of anything offhand, so I don't know. I don't know if you guys are commenting on Facebook. Terrible. Tony says, Johnny, no drill used. I'm proud of you, Tony. I'm proud of you. I guarantee if you used a drill on those wheels, you would have been dropping bombs. I don't use a drill on anything. If I can't grab a bloody driver and do it, then it doesn't get done. But especially on wheels. Do not use a drill on wheels. I don't care if it's a fancy screwdriver that's electric. Use your hands. You've got to know when it's going tight. Have you made any roll bars or light bars for any of your stuff? I've made lots of light kits. They're pretty extensive. I've done full light kits on heaps of stuff. My original crawler did a full light kit on that. Drift cars, I've built light kits on those. The camel trucks, I did the whole light kit, wires, LEDs, the whole thing, all the way through, back and forwards. I haven't built any roll bars or anything. I want to get into brazing stuff. It's just, I don't want to spend a fortune to do it. And I probably don't have to. I don't know that much about it. I know the basics, but that's something I want to get into. So yeah, could possibly be looking out for some of that sort of stuff. So Jason Mayer's joined us right at the end of the feed. I feel bad when people join and it's about to shut. So yeah, that's something that I want to get into. Drew says, awesome feed. Thanks, bro. It's all right, mate. It's my pleasure. I'm glad you guys come along to watch. I know I've been saying it a bit lately. Give it a share. Takes 2 seconds. Really do appreciate it. Let's see if we can get this feed up to like 3K views within a week. A couple of our last ones have hit one's at 2,300 in a week and the other one's at nearly 1,900. Awesome. The boys are replying to each other. I can see that. I think that's about it, fellas. I think. There's nothing else that I can think of off the top of my head. Some tips when you go wheeling. Bring your 1.5, bring your 2 and bring your 2.5. Bring some plastic containers like this with lots of random nuts and bolts in it. Not just for you, for your mates. So if they run out, if you've got 3 batteries and your mate's got 1 battery, you bring 3 in case his runs out, and then you can go, here, I charge this one so that you can go longer. Hamish, oops, I'm a bit late to the party. You are very late to the party. The party's about to shut down. It was last call. I do suggest you go back and have a watch. It was a good fun feed. You guys are getting me more pumped up to do more feeds, but at the same time, I don't want to smash them down your throat and go, oh, geez, I wish this bloke had stopped doing feeds. I don't want to get to that point. I want to have stuff that you guys enjoy watching. Fun RC. That's what this stuff's all about. Who started their competition builds? Have you started? For those that don't know, there is a pinned post at the top of the group for the BCRC and RC Mart working together. It's because RC Mart are good sports. Hey, RC Mart, woo! I love RC Mart. They're brilliant. They've got such great people. They're in the hobby and the business for the right reason. These guys love to have fun. Tony Gen 8 release. That's been delayed, I believe, which is fine. Generally, if stuff gets delayed, it's so that it's better when it comes out. At some stage, I hope to get one. I hope to go, check this out. I want to try and do more live unboxings, more reviews, all this sort of stuff. If there's a truck out there you want me to review, now obviously these trucks aren't cheap. These trucks aren't cheap, so go easy. But if there's trucks out there you want to see me unbox and give my honest opinion, etc., let me know. Tag me on their pages or whatever else. Lee, I made a cardboard Christmas tree. That's so good. I don't know if I'll be able to get this out of the box. It's not cardboard, but yeah, it's stuck in all my RC stuff. Some of you guys may remember this from last Christmas. I've still got it. So I'm hoping that how cool is scale stuff? That's a scale Christmas tree, damn it, and it's got lights on it. I'm hoping that before Christmas I can start my garage. And now I know what I'm like. As soon as I start it, I'm just going to smash that thing out because I want my new garage. That's going around that way. Jamie, I'm about to... Tony says Viterra, lol. I'm not a fan of Viterra stuff. I mean, that suburban thing they made, it's just dog ugly. The Viterra have gone backwards, in my opinion. That's only an opinion. We've all got those. Jamie, I'm about to start a big build using an MC8 chassis. Sorry, the Christmas tree was a bit dusty. That's awesome, mate. Feel free to dump some pictures in the group. We like seeing what people are doing. Bob getting ready for another sawback build. I seen a bloody sawback the other day, Mark II with the links and not the leaps. And the dude's got 350 on it. I was like, I really don't need it. I've never had one. I think if I was to get a sawback, I'd have to go to the original with the leaps. I wouldn't buy just a coil one. Can't believe those batteries still got charged from last year. So my Christmas tree is ready. No, it's not a cardboard one. Don't shoot me. But that's for my scale garage. Right. Well, I think that'll probably do, kiddies. When I call you kiddies, I'm not taking the piss. We've got a lot of new people that have joined the group lately. We are over 1,600 members. That's all. That's bloody awesome. I had... Who was it? Lawrence the other this morning was commenting on one of the previous live feeds, saying that it's the first one he's seen and he loves it. Now, Lawrence, I hate to tell you, mate, but the one you watched was probably one of the lower quality live feeds. Go back and watch some of the other stuff. They're wicked. Hamish, that's cheating. This isn't for a competition or anything. I did all the decorating. You don't buy it like this. I did all the lights and I did the little baubles and I did the tinsel and all that stuff. So that's my scale garage Christmas tree. So, neener. Bob, great leaf spring truck. They do look pretty good, mate. I wouldn't mind testing one out. Look, if one comes up cheap enough, I'll buy it. I know what I'm like. I can't help myself. I nearly bought a boat last night. I'm still this close to buying it. It's like, must be this big. It's just an old school cruiser boat, and I love that stuff. One day. Tony, quality over quantity. Yes, that is important. It is very important. Okay, I think that's going to do. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to anyone that gives us a share. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. If you want to see more of the contents and such, I've got my YouTube channel. If you like, I'll drop a link. I've got Instagram. I'll drop a link. My Instagram's got over 2,600 RC photos. You can sit there all day, just scrolling. My YouTube channel's got a decent amount of videos. I can't remember exactly how many. There's this is in a video. That's in videos. My Demon's in videos. The PG4. There's just videos of all different trucks. So go and check them out if you like. But let me know and I'll drop a link if you want to see it. All right. Bob says good night. Good night, Bob. Sleep tight. All right. I'll catch us all on the next live feed and in the group and whatever else. So take care. Have fun. Have fun with RC and get onto those cardboard builds. I want to see some super secret spy shots of cardboard builds because I know how much you guys used to hate my secret spy shots. They'd be like this. Hang on. They'd be like this. Oh, new build coming. And you'd be like, oh, you dick. Can't see anything. Anywho, have fun. Take care. We'll see you in the next one.